Dun 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 dun. Hello, everybody. This is True Powers Mine, and this is TPIM SR Live. Today's date, January 23rd, 2020, the year of our Lord. I want to first start off by giving great thanks to the Most High. Thank you, God. Thank you. Thank you. I want to also sincerely and with a strong heart say thank you to each and every one of you who've been praying for me, keeping me in your prayers. It's paid off. Last night was basically involved in a pretty catastrophic crash, at least from my point of view. Today, I'm hurting. I'm in pain. But I have a purpose. Brother Marty, peace and power. Brother David. Brother Frederick, welcome to the show. Thank you, thank you, thank you. My head is still a little scrambled up, guys. I really didn't get much sleep. I got home about 4:30 this morning. Sister Barbara, peace and power. Just got back from getting the old rental car action. And I had received a great phone call from Brother Fixico. Phil Pompey Fixico. This is an excellent man. Such a freedom fighter. And the things he told me on that phone call is something I really need to hear. Knowledge, peace and power. Welcome to the show. After meditating, Brother Al, A1, welcome to the show. I came out of meditation. The studio audience is behind me. Unfortunately, or fortunately, however you want to look at it, they had to miss school today because, well, I didn't have a way to actually take them until the rental place opened up. So this brings me to this. Let's get into the show. And once again, just thank you for all the prayers, man. For all the prayers, thank you. All right. That being said, it's time to get back into the mission of this thing, y'all. What is the goal of this show? Is to incentivize the world, to incentivize the country, to afford people economic viability so that they too may have what has been referred to as the so-called American dream. Because to all else, America seems to be the beacon of light, which it rightfully is. But whenever there's been a systematic, what if there was ever documents that came out that said that everyone who suffers from opioid addiction, it was systematically planned that they would have that debilitating aspect. It was systematically planned that they would get hooked on this junk to where quite literally they could be recognized and ostracized, more importantly, as a second-class citizen. How would you feel about that? You would say that's unjust. It's not right for the system to be in place to hold these people back. I'm only talking to the decent folks. If you ain't decent, then get the hell off my stream because you don't need to hear this. This will be incredibly boring to you. But if you're a decent human being, then this presentation should matter to you. We need reparations, economic compensation, so there will be a universal voice that says we value these human beings. Because you would never certainly say that these folks I'm about ready to show you deserves anything less but justice. Let's continue. This music. That music's what gets you caught
up. Now I can enjoy every day that I live. I can really enjoy myself. And before, even a good day was hell. I mean, I couldn't enjoy nothing. But now I can enjoy myself. That's when I said wonderful. I look at the future the same way a young guy, 25, 30-year-old would.
Yeah, he looks at the future like a junkie. Hold on.
Sleep a lot, and I mean, he slept. He was at the point where he could be sitting in here talking like I'm talking and fall right off to sleep while he was talking. I went to the point where I had to put his socks and shoes on, his clothes on, his shaving, wash his hair, look out at him just like you would look out at a 2 or 3-year-old.
Brother King, welcome to the show. See, there's a real cost when we look at these opioid epidemic. A real loss. I mean, even I know more than one person that has died due to clowning around with opioids. Last night, that doctor prescribed me this medication called narco. See, I don't really do pills well. Everybody has their little I guess phobias. I guess one of my all-time phobias is popping a pill. I don't like pills. I don't like being in pain either. So then that's where we fall into the trap. You start popping down the pills, and then the next thing you know, bada bing, bada boom, you're off the prescription. Now you're out there in the streets. Let's continue so you hear the story.
He said, I'm in so much pain. I've got to have that pain medicine. He said, I just cannot live without that pain medicine.
People would look at him and literally think, well, he's got to be drunk or he's got to be high on something. They didn't know, he was just on a lot of medicine.
Oh my gosh. This is the retardation I'm talking about. No, dude was fucked up. He was high. Oh, he wasn't high on your marijuana or he wasn't high on your cocaine or whatever, but the dude was high. Let's get that out there. There ain't none. Oh, they just don't know he was just on medication. That's code word. That's some cover up shit. Let's be real. Now, this type of willful ignorance, and you can see it in her eyes. All right. Hold on. I want to go back here. I'm going to stop I want to show you. Okay, we're going to play Old Boy real quick, but then I'm going to show you, break down the body language.
25, 30-year-old would.
Now, we can't see Old Boy's eyes because, they were covered up. But just look at her eyes. Look at the eyes. This one here is out to lunch. She's probably doped up on something right there. She's probably on a pill. You can tell by that. Even though she's kind of being articulate, she's really a blank face. Also incredibly old, but just a blank face. And when the girl starts talking, you can tell she's obviously slow, mentally deficient. His problem is he's fat. And all that fat on him is making him sluggish. This one here, you can tell she's slow. Just look at her face. Look how catty those eyes are. Now, we'll turn back on the sound so we can hear her presentation, but I wanted to give you this breakdown first. Hold on, let's go back here.
He's shaving, wash his hair, look out at him just like you would look out at a 2 or 3-year-old. He said, I'm in so much pain. I've got to have that pain medicine. He said, I just cannot live without that pain medicine.
People would look at him and literally think, well, he's got to be drunk or he's got to be high on something. They didn't know, he was just on a lot of medicine.
Wow. And this one right here hits home. One afternoon in 2008, the year of our Lord, Johnny fell asleep while driving and flipped his truck. Oh man. Oh man. Hold on. Yeah. Just hold on. It hasn't even been a full heck. It ain't even really been a full 12 hour since my crash myself. I wasn't expecting to see this in this broadcast. I'm just having a flashback real quick. Okay. Johnny fell asleep while driving and flipped his truck on a county road in North Carolina. He was killed instantly. Continue.
And my phone rang and it was him. And he said, I can't go no farther. And the highway patrolman told me within 5 minutes after I got off the phone with him, he went off the road. That's when he ran off the road. And they said what happened, eyewitness behind him said that they thought maybe he got distracted, which I knew what was wrong with him. He fell asleep from that moment, and I knew what it was. I think when I first started, I was on 20 milligrams in the morning. And
20 milligrams. That's for those who don't understand what a milligram is. Now, correct me if I'm wrong in the description. Correct me if I'm wrong. But like a milligram, I believe, is like 1/10 of a gram. So in other words, like a gram is like a teaspoon. Let's say a gram of sugar. It'll be basically a teaspoon of sugar. Well, you take 1/10 of that, and I'll figure out the mathematics on this. My brain still ain't working right. Let's listen to this chick.
20 in the evening, and it worked. It worked. Since I've been on this new pain medication, I have not missed one day of work, and my boss really appreciates that. Lauren is there every day.
See, this medication makes you a good little wage slave. Mm-hmm.
So I'm able to be very productive person again, which is really great. Eventually, it stopped working, and it got increased. I think it was 40 in the morning and 40 in the evening. And then eventually that got increased. This went on for years. I lost my job and I lost my insurance. So it got to the point where I couldn't afford it, and I didn't buy it one time.
Hold on, did you hear what she just said? Listen up. Don't forget, she did this all for the job. Listen up. Listen what happens. This is how much your work loves you.
So I'm able to be very productive person again, which is really great.
Over time, Lauren's need more and more of the drug. She built up a resistance. She stopped being a good little wage slave and then started being a fucking junkie. That's the problem. Let's continue. Eventually, it stopped working, and it got increased. I think it was 40 in the morning and 40 in the evening. And then eventually that got increased. This went on for years. You see, she ain't smiling no more. This is the cost. This is the cost of the life that's lost. I'm not saying you have to become some sort of sadistic fuck and embrace pain, but I'm saying, man, you can't run from it. Hear me, my friends. You cannot run from the pain. You have to deal with it. If not, you just keep shortchanging yourself, and you're gonna end up like old boy or baby girl here. You're gonna end up like old boy or baby girl here, dead as dead can be. Whether you're dead on the inside because you feel like you're nothing because you can't so-called participate in the exploitation of labor, which is work, or else you just simply fall asleep while you're driving down the road and your ass crash. This is the reality of messing around with them drugs. Now I know a lot of people don't want. I'm not even talking about no prohibition. I think prohibitions is stupid. I think all drugs actually really should be legal. Every last one of them. Allow the person to make that individual choice. Take the criminality out of drug consumption as a whole. But see, if you do that, then who's actually going to hurt? It's going to hurt the doctors. It's going to hurt big pharma. Because the whole thing with cradle to grave regulation, that's the society in which you live in, friends. You live in one that will regulate you quite literally from the time you are birthed to the time you're placed back into the earth. Let's I know everything's going wild over here. Hold on. Let's do this.
Years. Went on for years. I lost my job and I lost my insurance. So it got to the point where I couldn't afford it. And I didn't buy it one time. And that was the beginning of the end for me because I could no longer afford it. But the time that I went without it was probably the most unbelievable, excruciating, horrible time of my life. The withdrawals were just unbelievable.
That's because you're withdrawing from heroin. Opioids is code word for heroin. Let's be honest.
I just knew eventually I was, I'd probably kill myself OD taking this medicine. I would never take another Oxycontin. You couldn't get me to take another Oxycontin. Never again.
I don't know who this guy is, but we're about ready to hear his story.
Physical therapy hopefully will get me strong enough where eventually I won't need to use the drug therapy. But the drug therapy allowed me to do the physical therapy, which in turn lowered my blood pressure and lowered the blood levels.
And this is just really sad. What y'all working
together? In the conversation was always the fact that he was taking lots of meds. He had just seen the doctor, or he was just going to see the doctor, or he was about to meet a new doctor. So the word doctor and meds and pain, those words came up over and over and over again. And I would say, where's the pain? I did ask him that. And he'd say, all over, especially my back and my arms and my shoulders, all over.
H-Half-Q, welcome to the show. You see, here's the problem. The pain meds, the laws that are written to regulate them, the people who enforce said laws, it's all one big cycle. And it's being driven by people's need to escape pain. It's just like Dr. Fuller said, this life, this world is nothing but a very cruel arrangement. You're born into a tragic situation off tip. There is no way around it. And if you try to mitigate this reality, this one truth that's universal across the board, whether you're pauper or king, you always end up losing. You always end up having more collateral damage. How many of you guys known people who went to jail behind drugs? How many of you guys known people who have actually lost family members due to drug use? Man, everybody in this damn game, from the doctor to the lawyers to the undertaker, getting paid, and you're not stopping that flow of money. You're not stopping it.
When I started taking oxycodone 2 months ago, it was the first time I had felt normal since my original injury 10 years ago. All that time I had suffered greater or lesser extent of pain, and now I feel absolutely normal. I love what I do, and it would be it would be just heartbreaking for me if I had to give.
I mean, what's so heartbreaking not sitting there being a little cubicle wage slave? I mean, you see this hand directing her, do this bit. Now, hopefully, this chick has already been replaced by AI. Hunchback. But see, a lot of these older people, you know the reason why they work so damn hard? You know the reason why people who were born or lived through, say, the 1930s? It's because they lived through the Great Depression. They understand what it means to make a bowl of tomato soup using hot water and ketchup. They know what it means to have fascism and communism basically rearing its global head. And so it would be a fear tactic. Okay. Trust me, fascism, communism, capitalism, none of these systems were really ever meant to go the full haul. They're just meant to usher in the ultimate last feudal empire. There's going to be one last kingdom before it's all said and done. And this is truly going to be the kingdom of man for the first time in known human history, such as has been presented. There will be one man running the whole damn show. One man over the whole planet. Or woman. It's going to be a milestone for humanity. Of course, we're immediately after that mile marker, we're going to have an epic crash. But you know what? That's a totally different story. But you're right, brother David. Loneliness. Old girl don't want to be at home. Hearing those cats. Meow, meow, meow. Let's kick it.
My career because my back hurt so much I couldn't work. It makes it possible for me to live a more or less normal life.
Now this one.
This medication does not turn you into a zombie. It has turned me into an active person again. And all these pictures, I look at myself, I look so heavy and so unhappy. And now.
Okay, you guys know what we're going to do, right? We're going to back this up. I'm going to cut off the sound. We're going to analyze her facial expressions. Then we're going to let her play her script, okay? So you can see right here in the eyes, the disconnect, frowning mouth, constant frown. That's a unifrown, all right? You can tell she's actually, a BB dove, okay? But when you look at her, the eyes, jittery eyes, unfocused, and this frown. Even when she's smiling, it looks like she's frowning. So she's frowning. She has smiles. Smile frowns. Terribly unconfident. Oh, Lord, have mercy. Wow. That's a metamorphosis. I don't know if we went from a butterfly to a caterpillar or a caterpillar to a butterfly. But this is what waits all of us if you live long enough. Oldness. She must be Catholic too. Tell by short hair. All right, now let's see what she has to say. All right, here we go.
It has turned me into an active person again. And all these pictures, I look at myself, I look so heavy and so unhappy. And now I look completely different. I feel different. Life is wonderful again. I have found life again, and it's worth living now. And I'm so grateful.
She sounds like someone who does crack in the very beginning. I found my purpose in life. And then about 2 months later, you see their purpose, and it's not that cool.
I am afraid that people like me, patients with legitimate chronic pain who can't live without these kinds of drugs, in addition to other things I do to manage the pain, I'm afraid we're the ones that are going to pay for it. We'll be made to suffer if people get overwhelmed in this idea that, oh, we have to do away with these or whatever.
Oh my Lord, the Spirit's got me to talk now. Hear what it is. I want to show you something. For people like her, ones who are truly disabled, and you're gonna see here now she's a lot older. You're gonna be euthanized. There's gonna be some euthanasia going on. They want a perfect world. Working man, they want a perfect world. Half Q, they want perfect so-called individuals. Because hold on, you can see here, her hands are all curled up. That means she has rheumatoid arthritis. That means she's in incredible amount of pain. And just because she can't shovel or dig or pick or type, they will consider her. When people say, I talk about people who classify other humans as useless eaters. This is who I'm talking about. This one here is a useless eater by their standards, not by mine. By my standard, that's a human being. By my standard, every last one, we're going to go all the way back. This guy, useless eater, by their standard. All right. Useless. Well, she's not useless eater. That was a caregiver. So she still has, I guess, some transient value. All right. She has a potential. But this one here, we ain't gonna sit through all of this. Another useless eater. And she was even gloating because she knew as long as she can work, boom, boom, boom. But once she lost that job, oh my God, what really made her, it's done. And do you not notice all these older ladies all have short hair? Useless eater. Now the two dudes, unfortunately he's gone. And unfortunately he's gone. So the dudes in here are both gone. The females seem to be carrying on. Useless eater though. And there's another useless eater. The men are dead. And the women that are left over are basically drugged out, useless eaters. All right, you can't see it, but you can see the articulation in her hands, and they're kind of curly fryish. The only reason why I bring this up to you guys today, I want you guys, as you go on, I know the studio audience is a little loud and a little distracted. I get that. I'm about ready to wrap this thing up now because my head is pounding. My back is actually hurting. And my knee is throbbing. American Aboriginal, peace and power. Welcome to the show, brother. And I don't take no pain pills. Well, for one, the prescription is not even filled yet, but it's like whenever you get banged up in a car wreck, it almost seems like inevitably, like when it first happened, you got a little, I guess, adrenaline rolling. So you're kind of like, yeah. But after adrenaline runs off, then it's cold, hard reality. So this will conclude TPIM SR Live for today. Once again, I just want to say thank you. Thank you to all the people who have prayed for me. Your prayers came through so big for me last night. I'm so thankful. And that's why I mustered up the strength to come and do this show today for y'all. Hold on, we didn't hear from this one. But she's delusional, though. But hold on. Might as well hear all the propaganda, huh?
If people get
overwhelmed in this idea that, oh, we have to do away with these or whatever. It makes me worry for me and how my life is going to be affected. I can't go back to the way it was back in the early 90s.
He took the medicine and hopes that was going to change things, but he had no idea. I know he would have never stayed on it. He would have never got on it if he knew how he would have ended up, years later.
Yes, I can see the pendulum swinging the other way now, but I just hope it doesn't swing so far as to hurt people like me that legitimately need this as part of my pain management.
Like I said, yeah. Useless eaters. Remember that. That is what you are, but not to me. Let's run through this news real fast, okay? This is for the reason why I do the news section like I do. Believe it or not, there are listeners from all over the world, and some folks can't get access to the same type of news that I get. And you know what? We are all in this shit together. So I guess if you don't, you don't care about your fellow man from overseas, I don't know what to tell you. Kind of douchey. All right. Spread. Cities quarantine. Snakes could be source. Cover up fears mounting. Virus scare LAX. All right. I'm not trying to warn or not trying to warn you. I'm not trying to scare nobody, but a lot of you guys have noticed a lot of the topics I talk about on the show or has been brought up on this show, especially like last year. All the stuff, different guests bringing up different stuff, and then boom, it's making headlines. I've been trying to warn people suddenly for quite a while about the pandemic aspect of the game. Even last night, I asked those medical professionals, I'm like, how scared are you guys with this mutated virus? And they're like, it's no big thing. It's just as bad as like Ebola. It ain't going to happen. And then the one girl said, well, there is one case here. I'm telling you, folks, it's already happening. Please be mindful of going into public spots. All right. If you don't want to die, be mindful of going to public spots. Viruses are a different animal altogether than, say, bacterium. In order to combat the virus, your body has to be totally alkaline. You can't really have an acidy body. So stay away from shit that'll make your body turn acidy. Viruses cannot really operate in a high oxygenated area. Now, I'm just saying this as hearsay speculation. I want to give out a disclaimer. In no way, shape, or form am I a medical doctor, nor am I giving anyone medical advice. I'm just exercising my freedom of speech and saying things. I'm giving out full disclaimer. This should not be used for medical advice. All right. Just don't listen to me. Don't have an alkaline body. Make sure your body's heavily acidized. So then when the virus takes root in you, like you're some miracle grow for a damn germ, then you'll know why. But if you happen to, want to listen to me and want to experiment maybe and alkaline your body, try to get the acid out you so that your body itself will be the shield that you need, then cool. Sister Love, welcome to the show. Peace and power. Brother Wes, welcome to the show. Peace and power. Much love, respect, unity, dignity. All right. Jeff Bezos, he must be a rather small guy. And I remember his wife or something was like a big Amazon. And I'm not trying to be ignorant. I'm just trying to make you laugh. He wasn't hitting that chick right. I want you all to know. He pulled up to that big old woman with his little brain. He probably has a big brain. But when he pulled out the Vienna sausage, that Amazon wasn't having none of that. Now she rode the gravy train all the way up to the top. And Mackenzie, if you hear this show, with your finances and the forces and the spiritual power of this show, we could change the world. If you was to finance this show, we could change the world. I could open up everything, make everything free. We can get out videos to people. We can get tangible things in people's hands. I'm just putting that out there in the universe because I know what really happened there. Sex droids with identical human appearance unveiled. This is what I'm talking about. Hold on. This right here is what I'm talking about. Sex fucking droids, yeah. They really want to sever that intimacy between man and woman. I think they're gonna do it. You see how they soften it up by first, bringing out the MGTOW, the red pill. Yeah, MGTOW, red pill, blah blah blah. Then now you don't even have to worry about no chick. Come to me and I'll hook you up with one of my robot chicks. You better hope she don't get hacked. They put the Venus flytrap virus in the sex doll. You know what the Venus flytrap virus is? It turns her mechanical vajayjay into a Venus flytrap. So you go in there and you're cha-chink, unitized, turn into a eunuch like that. Of course, that would never happen, I hope. It'd be just like self-driving cars just going off the cliff like a pack of lemons. Woo, 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 woo. That would be the scariest thing, man. Going down the highway. And some mad hacker hacks all the cars on the damn highway and just starts crashing them like crash test dummies. See people sitting there sleeping, eating their food. Some freak probably in there with his robotic girlfriend, with his robotic children. And that would just be crazy. But we brought it all upon ourselves. You know why? Because we have no loyalty and we have no unity. Everybody's so quick to bail, jump ship. But it is what it is. Anyhow, while you've been asleep, rise and far right visits to former Nazi concentration camp. Yeah, they're visiting these things like a damn shrine. Hitler was right. Ew. I don't understand why those abominations are still allowed to be existent. You don't need that as you have pictures and the representation when you go out there with your little hurting human, basically ideology, because that's all these things are. When you look at all these various systems, all they're designed to do is kill other human beings, and that in itself is the most evilest thing I think a species can do to itself. Allowing these people to kill people for what? Why did all the people in every war, why did the people die? Why? What was the purpose? What was the true outcome? Where was the true justice? What was the true valor? It's sneaking around the dark and popping people. It doesn't help humanity, but you know who it does help? It helps anything that is outside of our collective experience of life. Anything that is intelligent and that is not of us. It helps if we kill ourselves. Just think, if we could do to viruses what something has done to the human species. Just think, if we can somehow inject hatred into cancer, where cancer hates itself. It won't self-replicate no more. One cancer wages war on another cancer. Just think if we could take, brain tumors and somehow pit them against themselves. Georgia Guystone tells us why. American Aboriginal. Dang it, always bringing the pain. The brother must have woke up angry again with truth and awareness. He's absolutely right, y'all. The Georgia Guystone is the precursor to the end game. When you have real power, apparently you get off on flaunting the fact that you're going to take out the insignificant and the weak. And as they refer to you, the useless eaters, the pathetic. This is what is so sad. You know, just like last century, we had the epidemic of the Spanish flu prior to World War One. I think the beast has been unleashed again. And I think in the weeks to come, as my words stop sounding so erratic and start sounding a little more pathetic, then you'll see. Oh, there's my favorite robot. See, check this out. Here's the play. You can get a robot chick, all right? Get a robot car. You get a robot dog. Because you know the reason why you're gonna need all these robots, because there ain't gonna be too many humans left to interact with. And the handful that are left probably ain't gonna want to kick it with other human beings. We really are gonna annihilate ourselves, and we really are gonna ensure that we never reach the stars. Hopefully these corporate jobs are worth it, the corporate career. Well, I get to take a vacation to Tahiti. And you could have been partying on Venus. You could have had a resort on Saturn. You could be drinking the wines. A Delta 6459997-8. But you know what? You won't, and you're not. Let's be realist and let's be pragmatic here for 1 second, yeah. For all the blustering and flustering, what's ultimately going to happen, any type of grassroots organization, because it's not led by righteous people, is going to flounder and corrupt and be corrupted and fall. The far extreme leaning ideology are going to finally cash in all the basically traitors to humanity that propagate all the hate, but from a weaker point of view. And they're just facilitating the anger and wrath of the masses that's going to be unleashed. Simultaneous economic, environmental, biological, probably even a little radioactive play. If nothing else, it'd be Chernobyl, the atolls. Don't forget, the United States has a bit of a nuclear crisis that it's in the Pacific as well. No one talks about it. It's down in the atolls where we detonated some of the biggest bombs. The Trinity bomb was actually tested there. Or no, not the Trinity bomb. That's never been tested, by the way. Thank God it hasn't. But we got that. We got Fukushima. And then we also have little radioactive situations like we have in Bridgeton, Missouri, where we have a landfill that actually has an underground fire, and they're believing it's because of all the radioactive material that's been dumped in that landfill. How many more landfills are like that around the country? How many more wannabe backyard nuclear scientists do we have ripping apart smoke detectors to get at their isotopes, ripping apart other common appliances that has radioactive material in it? We are on a pathway to destruction because of the fact, oh my God, because of the fact that we have been bamboozled into believing these half-truths instead of coming together and making heaven on earth. Most of us have acquiesced to the lies that you'll have a shitty life and you're going to have a great heaven to come. You fall for it here, you're going to fall for it there. Either you make your heaven, your Shangri-La, your Valhalla, your Nirvana, your agoon, your place here, or else you will never have a place. You're going to end up there. You're going to end up in one of these camps. You're going to end up a puppet. All right. So, not to scare nobody, please do your own research. Don't believe me. Hopefully, you can come back and say, like, true, you're a damn lie. Here's the information. But pretty much, I know I'm not lying. So, there's no information. I just say that because I myself at times don't even want to face the cruel reality that has been presented before me. And I have so much more information that I really cannot share. But I do the best I can with what I got. Some of this y'all gonna just got to read between the lines. You can't have someone spelling it all out for you constantly. Especially if you don't want something bad to happen to that individual. But you know what? For all of us, that can hear my voice, we should fear not. For something bad has already happened to us collectively. So at this point, you can cower in your boots like a little bitch, or you can stand up and be like, yes, this is what we need to do. This is direction we need. And I'm still hub bound this year. Yes, I've had setbacks. Health problems. Death in the family. Just crashed my car. All these things, this weighs on my mind. But I still know the purpose. I'm not going to allow anything short of death to stop me from bringing unique, tangible information to the viewers. And with that, I say live your life of integrity without hate, without envy and greed. As always, brothers and sisters, please, peace and power, unity and victory, dignity and respect, liberation.